Good day, beloved. My name is Ada Victor Adejon from Unique River Prayer Network, an interdenominational ministry based in Lokoja, Kogi State. About the Convergence. Convergence is an altar set of God, or one of the altars sets of God, rather, in Kogi State to bring about a recovery of the blueprints of the land. God has ordained the state to be a mirror to many other states in terms of economy and even governance. Howbeit, we've been a shadow of ourselves, but God is putting forth structures in place to see to it that the blueprints of the land is being recovered. And the Convergence is one of those places where God gathers his people for marching orders, giving them the right equipping on how to bring forth this recovery, which is a major agenda of God's Spirit in this time and day. God bless you. In a build-up of what God is set to do in this year's Convergence, last year, the Lord had us talk about Judah tribe. And Judah tribe, it's actually an unveiling of the true nature or name of Kogi State as a territory. Bible speaking, it said the scepter will not depart from Judah, neither the love give up from his feet until Shiloh comes. And this reveals who or what Kogi State represents. That from Kogi State, the lawgivers should be from here. The principles, the governance on God's leadership structure should come out of Kogi State. And last year, God helped us in Convergence to have a glimpse of that nature, that true blueprint of God for the state. Last year, the Lord have us have a Minister Sidney Yabo, a prophetic worshiper and also a teacher of God's word. And she gave us perspective about the place of Judah in the dealings of God. Also, we have Apostle Joshua Osega, who is an intercessor and also an apostle, who by God's grace gave us perspective of priesthood as to governance, how we govern through priesthood. Lively Stones and Spiritual Building, it's only a continuation of the build-up that God has begun in Kogi State. There's been a build-up in Kogi State. Majorly, it has been, but majorly from 2015, God has begun a build-up which is aimed at recovery upon the land. And so it has been from one dealing to an order which is aimed at recovery. And so this year, God will be revealing to us a pattern of building He wants to achieve in this recovery process. The word lively stones speaks about the nature of stone, not dead stones, not half stones, not nearly hot stones, but he used the word definitely lively. And so this gives us a perspective of that there is a characteristics, there is a nature, there is a kind of stone, and which we must understand we are that stone that God is using to achieve his structure, because he said, here are lively stones built up a spiritual house to offer up spiritual sacrifices that is acceptable. So it means that God has an agenda to raise a people, to raise a generation of people who will offer up a sacrifice that is acceptable to him. Howbeit, there is a nature these people must carry. There is a nature this kind of generation, this breed must carry. So God is trying to define a generation in that context. And so God will be giving us a glimpse into how this generation is supposed to operate, how this set of people is supposed to carry out its marching orders. And so it's going to be a wonderful time in God's presence, because marching orders will be released on the specifications of God as this set of people whom he is raising to bring forth this recovery or to bring forth his agenda in this time and season. God will be giving us his choice minister for this year in the person of Apostle Eliojo Adijon. He's actually an apostle backed up with great manifestations of God's Spirit in miracles, in healings, in the word, and also in discipleship. And so this year, God has chosen him as one of his heralds to bring forth these marching orders alongside myself and other great ministers of God that God will be bringing forth our way in this season. And so it's going to be a mighty time in God's presence as God will be dishing out marching orders as to the specifications of the kind of structure he intends building to bring forth his agenda. God bless you.